So it is your girl Charisma, and I am here in my yard in beautiful Kigali, Rwanda. And for those that don't know, I do these random videos sometimes. And on these videos, I just have something that's on my mind. So I decided I should name it. Um, and it's I have something to say. So as I sit here, I'm thinking about my next move. A lot of what we've been taught to do is that it's necessary to always plan what's next. And up until 2 years ago, I've always been that person that was planning what's next. Good morning. Hey, here it is afternoon. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like three something. So I've always been that person that's always planning what's next, always trying to figure out the next move from point A to point Z. I need to know that and everything in between. Never really letting things happen in the world. And that is exhausting. That is the way that we are taught to live in the States. That is that mentality. That is why the United States is that place for the go-getter. That is the place where you're gonna make your money, you're gonna build, you're gonna have houses, cars, mansions, you're gonna have all of that, all the American dream and all, if you are willing to go hard. Like go hard basically every second of the day. The average work week in America is 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. About 2 to 3 of those hours are spent in rush hour traffic. So you now are down to 11 hours a day. If you sleep 8 of those hours, that then leaves you 19 hours. So in the end, you literally get 5 hours a day to do what it is that you want to do. If you have kids, you got homework, you got to eat, you got to cook. Because, of course, we don't get any services. We're doing everything for ourselves. And this is the American culture. And I was reading something that was saying how people in Nigeria are wondering, why do we want to get to Nigeria and they're trying to get to America? And there was an interesting take that somebody had posted, and she said, as a Nigerian, your worst days, the worst things that happen to you in America, even dealing with the police brutality, will never be worse than your poorest person in Nigeria. They literally live in what we would consider fear. But because that is their everyday life, it's not fear. We could go, if we lived the life of a Nigerian that was poor, if we lived the life of these individuals that truly fear for their lives day in and day out, if we were to hear bullets on a regular basis, if we were to have bombs dropping next to us, if we were to have no running water, no electricity, none of those things, we would live that of a true third world country. We would live that of a true poor individual. In the United States, we don't really have that. We have that hustle mentality. And if you've caught me before, you will know my grandmother is from Costa Rica. My mom is the firstborn American. And I always thank my grandmother for my little blue passport book, because that little blue book, the things she did to get to America, I thank her so much, because it is the land of the brave. I don't want to work my ass off in America anymore. I just don't want to do it. I feel like that trail has been done for me. My grandmother has done it. My mother has done it. My cousins, my uncles, my aunts, they have all done that for me, so that I don't have to do that anymore. So that I can just live a better life. So I can be happier. So I can experience my journey and not have to plan every minute, every second of my day. So I can wake up and say, What am I going to do today? There is people out here, they go to the gym every day, every morning because they can. They don't have to rush. They just walk or jog or do whatever they want to do. They have their cup of coffee. You meet up for dates. You do all of these things. And not all of these women are out here working. Not all of these women are not working. Some of them are still working they're working regular jobs, but they are using that income from the United States to live here without the rat race. And sometimes that's kind of hard to know what that looks like. So I'm going to describe to you, and that's not even just for Africa, that is for most of these countries. So I'm going to describe to you what it looks like to live somewhere and not experience the rat race and just live freely. It looks like having someone that cleans your house 2 or 3 times a week. It looks like making sure they do dishes. It looks like having a nanny. It looks like having a driver. It looks like having a cook. And although these things just seem very far off for us, in a lot of countries, we are the privileged. Now we ain't shit in America. I as a black American, we're at the bottom. But once we leave America, we are the privileged where we go. We are experiencing the top tier of life. We're experiencing what only the rich get to experience in America. And we are not grinding to do it. I'm sorry, I think that that's a truck or something going by. So as I'm sitting here and I'm at this place in my journey, I no longer really make plans. There was a time where, y'all, I planned everything. I planned everywhere I was going. I planned everywhere I was staying. I made plans. I booked those plane tickets months in advance. But I learned that no longer suits me. What was happening was that I was missing flights. I had never missed flights before in my life. Things were changing. I was getting in countries, and some countries I got in and I could not wait to leave. Some of you all may love those countries. I may not. I could not wait to leave those countries. But some of these countries I got in that I thought that I would want to readily escape, I got in and I flourished. I got in and I met people. I met expats. I met local people. I met people that really made me realize, damn, this is really what life is about. Life isn't necessarily, let me take my 2 weeks and hit all the countries I can. I remember taking those 2 weeks and going to, where did I go? Italy, and hitting 3 countries in Italy in about 10 days. Y'all, I was so damn tired. I mean, can you really enjoy it? How do we take our money and really be able to enjoy something when they only give us 2 weeks a year? After they already taken so many hours of the week from us. But now I live a life where people ask me, hey, how long are you staying here? Girl, you're going to stay here longer. You're not leaving anytime soon. And a lot of times I have to step back and I have to say, actually, I don't have to leave anytime soon. I actually can stay here longer. I can develop relationships and friendships. I can let things what word am I looking for? I can let things grow. I don't have to be that person counting how many flights I took, how many countries I went to, how many cities I stopped in. Instead, I can be that person that has that opportunity to meet different people, find out about the lifestyle, find out about the structure, the history, the culture. And it's really a blessing because we're so very sheltered in the United States that we don't even realize what's really going on around the world. As I talk to people and listen to their life experiences, it allows me myself to grow. It allows me to flourish. My who I am today is not who I was a year ago. The things that I've learned today, the things that I know have changed me. And I believe it's changed me for the better. I don't feel like traveling and living abroad is all about the glam and the glory. I think that a lot of times we overlook what truly comes with living in another country, whether it's here in Africa, it's Jamaica, it's in South America, you're in Peru, just to be in another country with other people, to experience the world that they experience, to walk the same streets as they walk, is something that's pretty magnificent. Um, and I don't think that we stop to talk about that enough. I don't think we stop to look at what's really going on in our surroundings. We're trying to check boxes, get here, get there, do this, do that. And don't get me wrong, I got my boxes to check too, y'all. I do a full note list of places that I need to see in that country. So I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm no Mother Teresa. But what I do learn is that you have to take time. You need to slow down and look at your surroundings. What are you learning every day? What are you taking in? How are you preparing yourself? You don't necessarily have to have a checklist. You don't necessarily have to have a schedule. Have a plan. Just a plan that you go by. Over the next year, over the next 5 years, I want to make it to these places. I want to see these things. I want to accomplish these goals. Everything does not have to be bam, 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 bam. Because sometimes we miss out because we're so focused on that one goal. We miss out on everything else that's going on because we have to get there. But the journey, that's half of the beauty. Getting to that point is half of the beauty. A lot of times we are so focused to getting there that we're missing out on the rest of it. Yesterday, some I did a real estate tour here in Rwanda. It's the first one that I've done, and I plan on doing a few more before I leave. And the ladies were like, "You're not going nowhere." And I was like, "Yes, I am. I'm supposed to leave." Y'all, I was supposed to leave last Saturday. Then I got a 10-year visa. Now I'm like, okay, I'm leaving at the end of the month. But then my son got into school here. Then I'm like, okay, I'm leaving in a month. Y'all, I don't know when the hell I'm leaving. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out as I go along. But that's the beauty of being able, having a fluid plan, doing what it is that you want to do. Whether that is right there in America, in your car, and you're thinking, what is it that I want to do next? Yes, we have these great goals. We have these big goals of where we want to go. But in the meantime, while we're getting there, what do we do? I I don't know. I really had to question myself and say, what am I doing here? In my mind, I came here for business. I came here to finalize my land. And for me, that means breaking generational curses. That means owning in the motherland. That means passing things on to my children. That means securing their future. That means giving them things that I didn't have. It's so much more than just a plot of land. I am truly doing things that I didn't even dream of as a little girl. As a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. I wanted to have a house with a white picket fence. a dog, a cat, a husband, and two children. And I say this not because I'm just saying this, I wrote this shit down. I looked back in my graduation book, and that was what I wrote down. I said I would probably go to Hawaii and maybe Europe. Never did I have a goal where I was going to own land in Africa. I didn't even have a goal that I was going to make it to Africa. Because, just like everybody else, I envision Africa to be a place of maybe a jungle where people walked around dressed in leaves. The leaf that covered the top and the leaf that covered the bottom and their butt. And maybe they walked around with sticks. I don't know. That was what, because all I saw was the little boy with the big old belly. That's what I saw when I saw Africa. So why would I want to go to a place that was inhumane? Why would I want to go to a place where people were savages? Do y'all see any savages over here? That is so not where I am. That is so not what Africa is. I am in a land where I'm surrounded by people that look like me, that don't judge me because my skin color is different. Because, hell, my skin color ain't different here. I am surrounded by people that if I'm at a networking meeting, they all look like me. They're all big shots. They all have deep pockets. The intellect to listen to them speak is amazing. These are the type of networking meetings that when I went to in the States, it was me and maybe three other black women. It was me and maybe two other black men. We all sat at the table. Sometimes we tried to space out, but never did I think I would be in a room of black professionals in a country where we are the majority and not the minority. Now I see how white people feel. It feels outstanding. You feel like, I'm gonna tell y'all, it feels like gold. That when you stand up and you speak, people listen to you and they listen to you and they are not judging you because when you stood up. When you wear your braids in that meeting, everybody else got braids in that meeting. When you wear your locks, everybody else got locks. If you got blue hair, corn rolled down, girl, that ain't nothing because everybody else got blue hair. Because you are no longer the minority, you are the majority. So imagine me as a little girl growing up in Atlanta thinking that I would one day sit on a continent full of individuals that look like me, that are powerful, full of individuals that feel that I'm powerful, that feel like I'm the shit. And I'm sitting over here like, nah, you the shit. Like, really? Imagine a little girl, the granddaughter of an immigrant. No, no, not the granddaughter of a black person that lived there, of an immigrant from Panama and Costa Rica. The journey, y'all, this journey is the shit. Are there ups and downs? Hell yeah. Does this power occasionally go out? Yeah, it does. Not lately, but it does. Am I here during rainy season? I am. Is it raining? No, it's not. Is everything rainbows and sunshine? It is not. I have never been that person that will tell you that it is. But what I can say is that the energy that I feel here is like no other. Y'all, I love Panama. Not fond of the animals in Costa Rica. I lived in the DR, all of those different places. But here, I didn't feel anything when I walked off that plane. People were like, do you feel different in Africa? No, I don't feel any different in Rwanda. Wanda has to grow on you, I feel like. It's not one of those places that you get here and the drums are going and the people are dancing and you like, I'm in Africa. Oh, no, this is not that place. This is that place that you got to get to know people. You got to talk to people. You have to understand people. And it's the people, it's the melting pot of Black people from around the world. I went to Afro Labs and it was all of these beautiful Black people from all over Africa, the powerful of the powerful. And I tell you, when they represented Africa, when they represented their country, honey, when I think the ancestors were over there dancing, honey, it just sends tingles down your spine. I had never been in a place where people represent a country of Black people. You just want to get up and dance. I was like, yes. I mean, that MC, when she got up there and she started talking, she demanded the room. You have to find your place. I don't know that I found my place yet in Rwanda. I don't know where my place will be. I'm actually still, I no longer look for it, but I do know I will stumble upon it. I've always felt like my place was Kenya. Since I was a little girl, I was in love with Kenya. My family knows I may move to Kenya. It is not a secret that I probably won't live in the United States forever. It is not a secret that I will probably make a home elsewhere. It is not a secret that I do not, and I have never liked the hustle and grind of America. I remember being in my 20s. I graduated when I was 20, y'all. So being in my 20s, telling my mom I'm retiring at 40. Y'all, I'm 39. I don't work as a nurse practitioner. I don't even think I realized what that statement means until just now. I am 39 years old and I do not work as a nurse practitioner. I invest. I teach people how to invest. I'm buying land. I have property in multiple states. I am doing shit that I never dreamed I could do. Are you doing what you never dreamed you can do? Are you doing what it is that you want to do? And if you're not, why aren't you? What is stopping you from truly being you? What is stopping you from being in a place that makes your spirit dance? Because I'm gonna tell y'all, it's not money. I'm just gonna be honest. It's not expensive to live in a lot of these places. The most expensive thing is the damn plane fare to get up out of the United States. So it's not money. Maybe it's creativity. Maybe it's finding that income that's going to set you free over and over. But it actually is not money today. That's not what's stopping you. Because if someone gave you the money right now, what would you do with it? Do you have that plan? Do you even have that big plan? If this was to happen, I would do this. Because we all think we got to be millionaires. We think we got to be rich. We think we got to be wealthy. When we really don't. We just got to get the hell out. We just need a plan to get out. It's Some would say it's probably easy for me to preach this, but it's not. I'm not one that left because I wanted to travel the world. Did I want to travel the world? Always. But I left for my son so that he could see the world. Because, as a lot of you all know, he has KIF1A, which is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder. Think MS for children. So I decided I'm going to give him the world. And in giving him the world, y'all, I gave my damn self the world. In giving him what I felt like he needed, I gave myself so much more. So it's like he gave to me. I thought I was saving him, and he saved my soul. I don't know. I don't really know what's next in my journey. I don't plan my journey anymore. Shit, I don't even plan these lives. That's how much my life has changed. I don't plan a whole lot because things don't always go according to plan. And I used to get so mad, y'all. I used to get pissed off if my plans did not go through. Oh my God. And then one day I was like, fuck it. I ain't even planning no more. I just know where I'm going next. I know my next destination. I know my next stop. When am I getting there? I don't know. When am I returning? I don't know. How am I getting there? Well, shit, probably a plane. That's about all I know in my journey nowadays. And I may plan for a month and I may stay 6. I may plan for a month and I may stay 3, but I stay until the journey, the task is done there. When the task is done in that particular location, then I leave. Do I know what the task is? Normally I don't. It's just where I'm led to go. My task here is done. It's about done. My task here was to put my plots in my name, to start my business. Now I got a whole new business. Now I'm doing other things. This is not what I thought I would come here for. But I came here open for possibilities. I opened up my mind and I allowed myself to be led. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Prior to getting here, I was in Atlanta for the last 9 months. And for those of you that have lived abroad and had to come back, it is rough. The first month I come back to the States, I'm normally in a deep depression. Just to be very honest, it is very depressing to come back and live in the US after you live abroad. And in the US, I dealt with depression. I had gotten in a car accident and I was very much depressed. It's not something many people know because apparently I hide it very well, but I was very much depressed. I thought, I can't imagine my life here. I can't imagine not being able to do the things that I want to do and go to places that I want to go. That for me became the unimaginable. Imagine a damn person born in New York, raised in Atlanta, talking about, I can't imagine being here the rest of my life. Child, it's where you've been all your life. But once I've gotten a taste of what it's like to be abroad, I couldn't imagine being stuck anymore, being in a hamster wheel. I could not wrap my mind around doing that again. I can't wrap my mind around leaving my dreams on the table. So I went through my days and I made the best of them. I went to my physical therapy. I tried walking. I tried doing what I could do to get better. I did what I had to do. And one day, y'all, I decided, okay, child, it's time to go. Enough is enough. It's time to go. I made a decision one day that this was it. I'm getting out of here. My physical therapist was like, you're not strong enough. I had to wear a back brace regularly, the big, expensive back brace. Y'all, do y'all know when I left Atlanta, I left my back brace and I was like, oh my God, I left my back brace. What am I going to do? When I was walking around, I was wearing a back brace in Atlanta. When I got in that car, I had to wear that brace. Now I was going to another country. I didn't have this big old back brace to support me. I was going to have to take my son, push this wheelchair, do all of these things. Oh my God, how was I going to make it? And here I am in Africa, no damn back brace, walking 10,000 steps a day. Was I my own damn worst enemy? Was I holding myself back? It is very possible I was holding myself back in my mind. I was being told by the doctors, do this surgery, do not this surgery, get this epidural, do these injections, take this medicine. Y'all, I was on 10 pills easily every night. 10 pills. I would literally hold the pills in my hand and I would hold them in my hand for an hour. I'm a nurse practitioner, I hate pills. I will hold them in my hand for an hour before I could swallow these pills. Hold on a second, y'all. I will hold these 10 pills in my hand, waiting to swallow them. And if you've ever had an injury, you would know it's got to be a pain pill, maybe some gabapentin, some tramadol, a sleep pill, a stomach pill to make up for the nausea and vomiting that you're about to receive from the other pills. You know, y'all. I had so many damn pills, and I would sit there for an hour and hold these 10 pills that I was gonna have to take to prevent me from having pain that next day. And then in the morning, I had 5 more pills. So I went from somebody that may have taken a sleeping pill at night to somebody that was taking damn near 15 pills a day. And this is in the last year. This had become my life. And when I was ready to go, my physical therapist said, "You're not ready. You're not strong enough yet." And I was like, "Child, it's either now or never. Because if I stay here, I'm a crash, burn, and be destroyed." I could not continue to stay there. I love my family dearly, but I was being destroyed from the inside out. Between the damn pills, laying up in the house, not really doing anything, I was like, I'm gonna have to take my chances. You know, this is the only back that I have. So if it's messed up, let it just damn be messed up. But it's gonna go with me anywhere I go. There's no surgery to fix me. This is just what it is. They told me that my son needed surgery. He needs surgery on his feet. He needs surgery on his legs. Well, shit. We going to Africa. We gonna have to do this surgery when we get back. I have been here for a month. It's been a month this past weekend. I have not needed a back brace. I did not go buy a back brace. I am now walking 10,000 steps a day when before I could barely walk to my damn car without being in pain. I may take 3 pills a night, 3 to 4 pills. Some days when I'm having more pain, I take 4 pills. I'm eating better. Y'all, the food here ain't no good, so it's great. It's easy to lose weight. I'm just gonna be honest. There are some good restaurants though, but I don't have pain like I did. I'm not taking medicine like I did before. I am flourishing. And I don't think that's just here in Africa. I feel like in any country I go to, I flourish. I feel like in any country I go to, my son flourishes, which is why I told them I would hold off to do his surgery because I felt like if we got out of America and we started walking and we started eating the foods that in 3 days go bad because they don't have no preservatives, if we started doing that again, just maybe we wouldn't need all of that. Maybe I wouldn't need all these epidurals. I mean, they were like, "Oh, you could come every 3 months." Yeah, what? You want me to spend my life here every 3 months so you can keep shooting me up like a pincushion? No, I don't know what else I'm gonna do, but no. I did it before I left. I said, I'm gonna do this. And my goal is to, when I get where I'm going, I'm going to lose weight. And in losing weight, hopefully that will fix my back or make it better. I said, I'm going to take my son here and he's going to get stronger. We're going to walk. We just going to walk. Like, it seems like, I was looking at Facebook. And you know how they be giving you apps and shit. They be trying to sell you stuff. And it gave me this app about walking. And they'll help you count your steps and they get you to walk and da 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 da. Well, the thing is, I don't have no car. Everything is typically within walking distance. I don't need an app to tell me to walk. My son's school is a 15-minute walk from here. So we walk. Sometimes we take a taxi because he has injured his foot. But otherwise, we walk. We are doing what people do in basically any society but ours. And I'm sure there are other societies similar to ours where all they do is drive and everywhere and eat fast food and eat things that are bad for us and have carcinogens that will cause us cancer and make us die of premature death. Sorry, that's the medical person in me. I'm sure there's other places like that, absolutely. But I'm like, if I was in church, I think this would be a praise report. If I was in church right now, I think this would truly be a praise report. Me leaving that $400 big bulky back brace was a mistake to me. I was like, oh my God, y'all should have seen me in line. I was like, oh my God, I left my back brace. Oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to get around? How am I going to walk? How am I going to do this, that, and the other? To a month later, what back brace? I don't take any pills in the morning anymore. Like I told you, I was taking 10 at night and 5 in the morning. I take no pills in the morning and I take about 3 at night. And you know what's funny? I didn't even think about that till I sat here and spoke on it. Because the thing is, we're just going through life and stuff is just happening. And we're not really paying attention to things as they happen. And it's only when you actually take a moment to speak on it that you realize, damn, that is happening. I did accomplish that. I did do, girl, you did that. And a lot of times here lately, I like to talk to my friends and tell them, remember the things that you've done because you've done so much. And we don't take time to celebrate ourselves because, especially in our community, we're taught to keep running. We're taught that we're supposed to do these things. So we just keep going. We keep running. We run till we can't run no more. We run until we're exhausted, till we have nothing left. And y'all, even here, I'll do that. Even overseas, I'll run and run and run and run until I have to slow myself down. And something happens and it says, girl, slow down. I'm a very spiritual person. And one thing I do is I read tarot cards. It's something that's passed down to me. A gift that I have that was taught to me. And one of my cards said today, rest. Every day, take a moment of rest. That seems so simple. I literally had to do cards, a spread to tell me to rest. Even abroad, I still have to find out, girl, you need to rest. We need to build that into our everyday schedule. Taking time out for you should not be a luxury. Whether it's meditating, doing yoga, exercising, whatever that looks, drawing, painting, whatever that looks like for you, that should not be a luxury. Every day you should have time to yourself to do whatever it is makes you happy. And you should be okay with telling other people, nah, girl, I'm gonna skip that. Nope, not gonna make that. Nope, not gonna do that. Because I'm taking time for me. That's hard for me. I don't know if that's hard for other people, but it's very hard for me to tell people no because I'm an automatic yes. I typically, if you ask me, I'm automatically like, yeah, girl, yeah, let's do that. And then I think about it and I'm like, girl, why did you just agree to that? Why you just sign up for something else? Even overseas, I'm an overachiever. I'm a perfectionist. And you have to double back not to be that person. You got to double back not to be a savior. You have to double back to be selfish. And being selfish should not be in a negative connotation, but it is because we have always been taught that we do for everybody else and we do for us last, if at all. But why? Why are we so much less important than everybody else? Spouses, children, parents, job. Y'all, I was reading an article, not an article, but I was reading something and it was saying that on the article, it was a nurse that, and y'all, I didn't even see your comments. I'm just now seeing them. So I was reading an article from a nurse that committed suicide. And she wrote, Dear, what did she call them? I think it was like Dear My Abuser or something like that. And the parents had seen signs of depression, but they released this letter, this suicide note that she wrote to the medical system because she was a nurse and she was working her ass off for her patients. She was doing everything for her patients. She was showing up. She was giving them the best of herself. And instead of her taking time off, taking PTO, taking disability, FMLA, taking EAP, y'all got all of those. Look at that. Y'all have all of those. If you work full time, I promise you, you have every alphabet I just named. Instead of taking that and taking time to herself, she would show up there and she said she didn't even know if one day she would be shot or a patient would be shot. Hold on, I have a call coming in. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on just a moment. I got to call a car from my kid. I didn't realize it was so late. He's getting out of school. So I got to call a car to pick them up. So she was saying that she never knew if she would be shot, her patient would be shot. She had no idea. This is the life that she lived and continued to live. Now, why she never took time to herself? Why she never why she didn't quit and go to another job? Why she didn't do any of those things are beyond me. Those are the things that really came to me like, why did you really stay here and allow yourself to be abused by this system that you work for? You are a nurse. You can go do so many other things. You can go work so many other places. And what a lot of people don't realize is that in being a nurse, working at the bedside in the hospital, that is back breaking labor. You get paid the least amount of money of any other kind of nurses. They treat you like trash. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, hold on, let me send her this card. Sorry about that. So If you follow me on Facebook, you'll notice that I wrote something there about this. When I was working in the hospital, my very first job, if you're in Atlanta, you know Grady. I was an ICU nurse in Grady. And I remember when the holidays would roll around and they would tell us that we had to work Thanksgiving or Christmas. We had to work New Year's, some days around New Year's. And they said we had to alternate the holidays. So every year we had to work Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was automatically alternated. Well, I told them I wasn't working Christmas. And they would be like, well, who are you? You know, I was brand new. Who are you? Um, I'm the person that's not working Christmas. I have a child under the age of 10 that believes in Santa. I love Christmas and I'm just not working it. I mean, I'm sorry. If you don't like it, I don't know what to do. So every year I would work the Thanksgiving. I would work in the morning and we would do Thanksgiving in the evening. And someone else would give me their Christmas because it was a non negotiable that I was not working Christmas. I would leave this job before I worked Christmas because Christmas was important to me. The same way the other person, Thanksgiving was important to them, Christmas was important to me. My other job, they always wanted people to work overtime. Overtime wasn't part of my contract. Overtime wasn't mandatory. So I wasn't working overtime. I didn't care. I wasn't working overtime. I wasn't doing it. I learned to live within my means. I had plenty of extra money by living within my means. We did everything we wanted to do. We traveled then. And I mean, even when it was me and my daughter, we traveled. I ain't working no overtime. I don't want no overtime. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I remember being about 24, 25, and having a coworker that worked her behind off for the company. She would work morning, noon. She didn't work morning, she slept in, but she worked noon and night, and she worked weekends. Anytime someone from her building demoted her, and they sent her all these different places, and she hadn't been used to that, and they started treating her pretty badly. And a month or two later, she died. She was not even an older white woman. In my 20s, you know, older is like you 40, you older. But she was probably in her 40s, early 50s. And we worked for hospice. And I remember they gave her the same spray that we give every other patient. No management showed up to her funeral. They sent the same card that we send every other patient. They had somebody else start going to her building, and it was business as usual. That was a wake up call for me. That was the moment that I realized that I was a number and nobody gave a damn about me but my family. To be live so long. It's been almost an hour. Angela said we're taught to sacrifice, not care for ourselves fully. We are taught to exist, not to live. I am not surprised by the story about the nurse. Yeah, and I feel like my view looks a little different. I probably did something and don't even realize it because I feel like my view looks kind of fuzzy. Does my view look fuzzy? I don't know. But that's what we're taught. And at 24, no, I wasn't married yet, so maybe 24 years old, I learned a valuable lesson. I learned a lesson that I would take with me forever. Um, I learned a lesson. This is really irritating me. I feel like I look fuzzy. Um, I'm not sure what happened here. Okay, and since I'm not like the most tech savvy person, I'm probably not gonna be able to fix it. So I don't know if y'all see it or not. Okay, I don't see it. Okay, it does look fuzzy. I don't know what happened. Let me see. Is it my camera? No, I think it's a filter, but I don't use filters, so I don't know how to take the filter off. Okay, it went away. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's driving me crazy. Okay, all right. I don't know how to take this thing down. So let me fix my camera back. So you imagine being like 24, 25 in your career. Really changed the trajectory of my career. Um, I already was, I already wasn't the I already wasn't like, I was always that nurse that I cared a lot about my patients. Like, I really cared a lot about them. I knew them all by name. I knew everything that was wrong with them. You know, if they didn't have food in their house, I would stop by and pick up groceries. I never would tell anybody that. But I would do things like that. But y'all, I ain't work late. I was probably one of the first people off. I would start early after I dropped off my son and my daughter, but I ain't work late, honey. I would be home some days at 12 o'clock. If I was out till 3, I was pissed. That was how my work day went, and I learned work life balance very early on, and I learned what was important to me, which was my family. And that lesson was drilled into me when I saw that nurse. I mean, y'all, she was that person. You ever had that person that worked their ass off and do everything extra? Any and everything extra there is to do. That was that person. She did any and everything extra. And they treated her like shit. And I said, well, if they treated her that way, how the hell they gonna treat the rest of us? Oh hell no. So at the time, I don't think I knew about Cam's disability. I don't know if he was even born yet. I want to say he wasn't born yet. And I was at that same job when I got pregnant with him, and when I had him. Same job when I found out he a disability. I didn't know what was wrong with him. He was always sick. I was at that same job. And I remember someone telling me to put in for family medical leave, even if it was intermittent family medical leave. Because in the beginning, oh, we understand. Oh, yes. Oh, I understand. But after a while, that shit gets old. They're tired of you taking care of your family. They're tired of you taking care of yourself. They're tired of you doing things to better you and your family. They're tired of your doctor's appointments. They're tired of all of that. They don't care. You are messing with their bottom line. So, guess what? Give me my family medical leave because this will protect my job. So no matter how many days I take off, guess what? My job is still there. And I started taking off days, and y'all, I had to take off so many days. My son would be sick so much. And I was working in hospice at the time. And having a sick child that you're caring for at the same time that you're caring for people that are dying is one of the hardest things I had ever done. It was. And eventually I just couldn't do it anymore. I had been a hospice nurse for 5 years. And it became a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I just didn't have it in me. I could not care for people during the day and then wonder about my child at night. So I left that job on FMLA. And guess what? When you leave a job on FMLA, you are entitled, if the FMLA is also for you, because I started to go through depression, you are entitled to unemployment. Best kept secret, right? And of course, they're going to say no at first because they don't want to pay you because you left your job. But they don't have a choice because that's how that works. You can call it working the system. I call it giving me back the money that I've been giving y'all every single month. Did nobody have no problem taking my money? Because we pay unemployment insurance, and I don't have no problem receiving my money. And they'll be like, "But you're a nurse, or you're a nurse practitioner. This is way less money. Money is money. It's still spent the same way. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's $200 a week. I gave y'all $200 a week. Give me back my damn $200 a week. Because right now I'm gonna make those $200 a week do what it do." So they're like, you can't find a job. I can't find a job that allows me to take care of my child the way that I need to, when I need to, at the moment that I need to. So this is not your money. Give me my money, and this is what we're gonna do. And that's what I did. And I think that's also when I learned how to really budget my money. When you don't know when you're going to be working, I never knew when I was going to have to stop working because I never knew when my son was going to be really sick. And when you don't know when you'll be working, y'all, you will save so much money. Y'all, I would save so much money. I would save tens of thousands. And then when I couldn't work for months, I would spend all of those tens of thousands. I would spend all of that money on our bills. Um, and then I would have to do it again. So I would save. I say like $20,000. And then he gets sick and I had to do it again. Because I still had a daughter, right? That was in charter school. She had things to do. She needed uniforms. I still needed to make her life normal. And I think that's how I learned how to take the income that I have and make it spread. And I said, you know what? This ain't enough money and it's not working. So I'm going to go back to school. So I went back to school and became a nurse practitioner so that I could make more money in a quicker amount of time without working as much. And if you remember, if you were on earlier, you'll remember one of my dreams was to become a nurse practitioner. A year into being a nurse practitioner, I hated being a nurse practitioner. I was like, oh, people don't get any respect. Like, it was a whole bunch of things that I didn't like about being a nurse practitioner. But it was okay. The patients were cool. And I made it do what it do. I never increased my bills though. I kept everything where it was. So a lot of people ask me how I got money to invest. That's how I made my first 10K to invest in a property. Was I never increased my bills. I didn't buy a new car. I didn't do all of those things. I kept everything the same even though I made more money. But I had learned to live off of less because I had no idea when the rug would be pulled from under me. The rug was always being pulled from under me whenever it wanted to be pulled. And I think that kind of helped me to start going with the flow because I didn't have no choice. Like I really just didn't have a choice in the matter. It really wasn't up to me whether or not I would go with the flow because the flow was going whether my ass was going with it or not. It was either sink or swim. So I decided to swim. That's what I did. I swam. And that's how it went. That's how things prospered. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure my kid got picked up. So I'm telling y'all, we have an Uber app here in Kigali, and it is nothing like the Uber in the States. Uber app here, you got to call them. They got to call you. You got to tell them 3-4 times to come pick you up. You don't know if they coming. You may call somebody else. If you cancel, they may come, and you already called somebody else. I'm telling y'all, everything that glitters ain't gold. But we work in it. We work with it. So Let me fix that back. But that became my life. And, you know, the struggle that ensued from being divorced, now a single mom to two, trying to keep my daughter's life as normal as possible, trying to keep my son out of the hospital, and probably working 6 months out of the year and utilizing that salary to fund an entire year of expenses prepared me for today, I believe. It prepared me to live somewhere overseas and not need a whole salary. Because, y'all, I'm not making what I made before. You know, real estate investing is gradual, it's not quick money. I was making six figures when I left the US. Well, when I left my job, I was making great money. I don't need six figures to live abroad. I mean, if I wanted to live luxury, but hell, I ain't even live luxury when I lived in the States. I still drove my same Hyundai Santa Fe till it was hit. I still drove I still drive my Toyota Camry. I love my little gold Camry, y'all. So I learned to live that way. And I remember a friend telling me, girl, you a nurse practitioner. You can't be driving that car no more. Honey, it's just me. This car gets us where we need to go. I love my car. And if something happens, you're not going to pay my bills because I now have a $800 car note. And to me, that just wasn't that important. For some people, that is extremely important. And I'm definitely not telling you to do what you need to do. But for me, I prioritize my life. What was important was us being on those cruises. My kids done been on so many cruises. What was important is my daughter flying to France and experiencing Italy, France, and some other places I ain't never been. That was important to me. That's what I prioritized, was giving my children the best experiences possible. And our priorities are different. My priorities are not necessarily your priorities. So that's just what I did. And I feel like that's what I became accustomed to doing that. Because if nothing else, I always had a rule. I had a family trip, a girls trip, and a couples trip. And we probably had a few road trips. Every year, those three were guaranteed: family trip, girls trip, couples trip. That was non negotiable as well. That was happening. I don't care if I was working, not working, we sick, we not sick, whatever happened, we were doing those three trips. And some were family road trips. And that's what we did. And that's how we lived our life. And I think that's what really allows me to live how I do now. And are there days where I'm like, girl, what the hell did you do? You left that still six figures, but then I'm like, honey, I don't want to work that hard. I ain't want to work that hard when I was there. Now, I ain't even gonna tell y'all I worked hard. I worked 3 days one week and 4 days the next week, and I still didn't want to do that. I like living life on my own terms, and it's very possible to do so. It just depends on what's important to you. So I look around right now. Somebody mentioned the birds chirping. The only damn thing is these mosquitoes, y'all. But I look around and I enjoy where I am in life. At 39 years old, someone called me, someone I met here. They tell me I'm a superhuman. I'm like, you're so funny. And they're like, no, you're a superhuman. They was like, I can't imagine if my mother did for me what you're doing for your son. And I still can't wrap my mind around that. And I'm like, I mean, this is what any parent would do, give their child what they need. And he was like, no, any parent wouldn't do that. Can't wrap my mind around that. For people that travel with their children, no matter what the age your children are, you are giving them something special, something different. You are giving them a luxury. I don't even know what that luxury would be called. I mean, the eye-opening experience that I receive as an adult, I can't even imagine what that looks like as a child. Um, yeah, I'm still not believing that superhuman thing, y'all. But it's funny because they said that's what makes you that. It's because you don't believe it. I don't. I just feel like I'm doing what I feel is best for my child, like anybody else would do what they feel like is best for their child. You know, people think that COVID is what made me leave the States. It really was not. COVID coincided with my date to leave. I had told my daughter when she was in ninth grade, once she graduated from high school and got tucked into college, me and Cam were leaving so that he could see the world now. She believed me, but then nobody else believed me. Everybody else thought I was crazy. Eventually, my mom got on board and some of my friends, but everybody else thought I was crazy. They thought I was lying and I was insane because who goes around traveling the world? Like, who does that? Especially with a kid with special needs. Like, you got to be damn insane, right? Um, and I tell this story because this is how I found out about Stephanie Perry, because that was the first time I saw other people that wanted to do, other black women that wanted, hell, other people that wanted to do the same thing that I was doing that weren't like 21 in the Peace Corps, because I had my daughter at 18. 21 in the Peace Corps wasn't happening for me. You know, so this was my opportunity. And I was like, see, mom, see, there's other people doing it. It's other, look, this black woman, she's doing it. I still talk to my mom like that, like I'm a kid, y'all. And it was like, and then you read in the chat and it's other people doing this. So COVID coincided with when my daughter graduated high school. And then I put her, well, she kind of went through some stuff. Lord, this called Uber, y'all. It's kind of bootleg, but we do what we do. Um, so it coincided with her graduating. And then, she went through some teenage stuff and dealing with a child and dealing with COVID, around that time. The teenagers, especially, they lost so much. So they lost years. And when I left initially, I left because I was pissed off. I ended up having an anxiety attack, which a friend of mine thought was a heart attack. I ended up going to the ER and everything. I had a ticket to actually go to Africa, but because I ended up having an anxiety attack and some of my numbers were elevated, dealing with my blood, my doctor was like, oh no, you ain't going to Africa. I was like, what? I'm supposed to leave in 7 days. She was like, no, you're not. Okay, if I can't go to Africa, can I go to Panama? And she said, that's within 5 hours. You can go to Panama. And I had went to Panama earlier that year by myself. So then me and my son went to Panama. And on a whim, within 7 days, we went to Panama. Not because we planned to go to Panama, because we were going to Africa. We were going to, I want to say Kenya, but I think they were going through an election at the time. So we switched it. We may have been going to Egypt because my daughter was supposed to go. She was mad at me, so she didn't want to go. And then I was mad at this part. We were having a whole family feud, y'all. So I was like, I'm out of here. Y'all driving me crazy. I put that house on Airbnb, got it ready. I ain't have no tenant, no nobody, and I left. That was it. I just left, y'all. I don't have no story where I was like, I got my job together and I packed up and I sold my stuff. Y'all, these people. Hello? Yes. Okay, are you there at Excella? Okay, hold on. I'm telling y'all, it's a little rough. Uh, so now I lost my train of thought. Hmm. Oh, so I went to Panama, and that was so I had went earlier, and I actually met my oldest living cousin. We took a picture. He showed me where my grandmother grew up. He showed me Cologne, Panama, where my family lived. He showed me the true Cologne, not the Cologne they show y'all and tell y'all black people are all awful people. So he showed me the true Cologne, Panama. Later, that picture that I took with my cousin was the picture that was used on his obituary. I went back to Panama with my son, and I experienced Panama. Not because I was planning on going to Panama, like I told y'all, but because I couldn't go to Africa. So then I allowed it to lead me to the next place. And I allowed it, ooh, I may need to switch to my computer. I allowed it to lead me to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is where my grandmother was actually born. And that's where I was led to next to stay in Costa Rica. I actually wasn't going to go where she was born. I was actually going to go where everybody goes, to the downtown area, uh, San Jose. I had a plane that was going to take me to San Jose. And I tried my best to get to the airport, and I missed my flight. First flight I had ever missed in my life. So I took a plane to Boca Torda, and I crossed the bridge from Panama to Costa Rica and to the land that my grandmother was born in, Limon, Panama, Limon, Costa Rica. So when I tell you that this has all just been a journey, it's really all just been a journey. When I really think about it and I speak to you about it out loud, I realize that none of this was planned by me. All of this was just what happened. I'm going to try to see if I can switch over from one device to the other. I'm not sure if I can do that, but I'm going to see if I can because this one's going dead. Um, but yeah, I didn't, no, I didn't I had a plan, but nobody cared about my plan. The universe didn't care about my plan at all. Um, the universe was like, okay. Oh, I'm at 1%. Let me see if I can get on here. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get on right here. Give me a moment. Let's see if this will tap into the live that I'm already in. Let's see. Live now. Does anybody know if you can tap into a live you're already in? Let's see. Because my phone is about to go dead. This is what happens when you do impromptu lives just because you feel